Hi, I'm J.E. Warr, the Financial Equalizer. You know, imagine a man walking out of prison after years inside. He's got no money, no plan, no hope. He has no one waiting for him. The odds are stacked against him. Studies show financial stress is the key driver for recidivism. But what if he left something different? What if he left with hope, a clear plan, and confidence to turn his life around? That would be amazing. What if you imagine a woman who's suffering from the slings of arrows of outrageous fortune finds herself alone, broke, and forced by circumstance to live in a woman's shelter. She has no one to care for her well-being, no one to hold her hand, no one that will teach her the things she needs to know. I'm J.E. Warr, the Financial Equalizer. I spent years teaching financial literacy from seminars coast to coast, San Diego to New York, to hosting radio call-in shows in cities like Albuquerque, LA, Seattle, Austin. Now I want to bring that experience to people experiencing poverty. That's what this seminar, these tutorials are about. I want to bring you some knowledge so you can get out of the mess you're in right now. Hi, waiting's a sneak thief. Waiting steals something from you sitting there waiting. It steals your time, and your time's limited. And especially if you're not doing anything special, don't be worried about sitting around waiting. Start planning. Get out of this mess you're in. Second Chance Hope Group turns time into triumph. My name's J.E. Warr. I'm with Second Chance Hope Group. And what we do is teach you how to use your time better by not waiting, but by planning. We're going to show you how to plan your way out of the mess you're in right now. Meet Tony. Tony spends his time sitting there waiting for a miracle, a pardon, a lottery, maybe something better. But he's just waiting. And that doesn't work. That's not the way to get what you want, waiting for it. When I met Tony, he'd come to one of my classes at Pack Prison. And we got to talking. And I found out what Tony was doing. He was waiting and hoping. But I explained to him, you're going to wait until your time's up. And then when your time's up, it's too late. He waits for a long time with his mouth open for a roasted duck to fly in. I know that's a silly picture, but that's what you do when you just sit around and wait. There ain't nothing flying in your mouth while you wait but a fly. Okay? So you got to do something else. And I showed this picture to Tony, and he laughed and he recognized himself in the picture. So don't be the man who stands with his mouth open waiting for a roasted duck to come in. That's nuts. Wasting time is a silly thing to do. Wasting time watching TV. You know, how many times you're going to watch Fast and Furious or Wonder Woman, reading fiction or amusing yourself with your tablets? That's a waste of time. You need to use those tablets as a tool to educate yourself. You need to start, instead of watching television, start planning your future. And you wake up every morning thinking about, what am I going to do to get closer to what I want to do? What do I want? Okay? And every time when you go to bed thinking about what's your life going to be like if you get what you want. And then just start working towards what you want. Waiting won't save you. Waiting is a sneak thief, and it's stealing your most precious gift. Time. What good is it if you sit and waste all your time not planning to be with your family? What do you lose? Time with your family. Not having the good life, what do you lose? Time to have a good life. You lose everything if you don't use your time. And everybody's got the same amount of it. But you need to sit there and think. You got to think yourself out of the trap you're in. You can't wait yourself out of the trap you're in. All you end up doing is finally getting out of that trap, but you need to get into another one very quick. You got to use your time. You know, don't be like the Aggie that went into a hardware store and bought a chainsaw, and took it home, and a few hours later he comes back to the clerk and says, "Hey, this chainsaw doesn't work." And the clerk said, "Well, what do you mean it doesn't work?" And he grabs it and pulls the rope and fires it up. And the Aggie says, "What's that noise?" You see, what's that noise? You gotta use your time. Remember the scene from Airplane where the lady got hysterical and everybody had to slap it out of her? Well, that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Y'all are all asleep if you're just waiting. Somebody needs to come along and slap it out of you. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to wake you up. Wake up. Start planning. There ain't no fairy godmother. There's no knight in shining armor. There's no cavalry led by John Wayne. There's no fairy godmother. There's no such thing as easy money. They don't exist. So your ship's not coming in, okay? You need to face reality. These things are not going to get you out of where you are right now. The only way for you to get out of where you are right now is plan your way out. Think your way out. Do something different than you did yesterday. Every single day. Don't do anything that is against your purpose. If you know what you want, don't do anything that doesn't get you closer to it. Remember our friend Tony? Here's what Tony did. The first year he waited. The second year he waited. The third year he waited. The fourth year he waited. The fifth year, well, he waited. Waiting's a waste of the only asset you have, time. Waiting didn't do Tony any good. He could have been using that time to plan what happens when this is over. Well, this is what I'm trying to tell you. It's time to start waiting and start planning. You need a plan, and to get a plan, you got to make it. You can't just wait for a plan to come along. You got to actually sit down, use your head, and think, I got to figure out what to do when I get out of here. I got to think of a way to get out of here. So, you need to start with little baby steps. If you're sitting there thinking, I don't want no more stinking jobs. I'm tired of bosses telling me what to do. I'm tired of guards telling me what to do. I'm tired of everybody telling me what to do. So I want to be my own boss. Well, okay. So now that's the beginning. That's your baby step. You decide what you want. Take a baby step toward it. Just a little step. Okay, now you decided, okay, I want to do a business. Well, your next planning you need to do is, what business do you want to do? I want to start a barbershop. I want to start a landscaping company. I want to be a consultant. I want to do videos. I want to make my money on the internet. I want to be a photographer. I want to be a contractor. Whatever those are. So now you're decided your baby step, I want to do my own business. Second step, this is what I want to do. Well, how do you do those things? And see, that's something I can help you with. If you need help, if you need some books, I want to be a contractor. Well, what do you need to do if you're going to be a contractor? Do you need to be able to read blueprints? Well, uh, your tablets might help you, or if you can't find anything there, let me know and I'll get you some information about how to read blueprints. So now you sit down and you learn how to do blueprints. Well, if I'm going to be a contractor, I need to know how to do how to handle employees' 1099s or whatever, or maybe set up whatever tax system you need for your employees. If I'm going to be a barber, do I want to be a barber in a barber shop? Well, the first thing I'm going to need is a barber shop. And then how am I going to pay for that? I'm going to rent out the other stools, barber chairs, or what am I going to do? Instead of having a barber shop, maybe I put a chair in a portable chair in the back of a van, and I go to people's where they work and cut their hair, which is not a bad idea, come to think of it, because then other people will come sign up for you to come there and cut their hair. I mean, there's just all sorts of things you can do, and I'm open to having discussions with you and sending you information. So at the end of this slide, I'm gonna give you my email address. I'm gonna give you my phone number. I'll give you my web page. I'll give you my YouTube channel. I'll give you all the stuff you need to either you get in touch with me or have your family get in touch with me. And then we can start contacting each other. I'm happy to talk to you on the phone. So we can get that set up. But you need to start with some baby steps. What do you want to do? What do you want? I'm not saying write down your goals. I want to be the biggest contractor in the state of Texas. That's too big a step. Let's make this easy. I want to be a contractor. What do I need? And then you list out the things you need, and then we start supplying it to you. And there might even be classes you can take while you're in. So that's what I'm suggesting, and I hope this kind of gets you started in some area. If you're in a shelter instead of a prison, great. Just, I can really get you some more information about what you're looking for. I raced motorcycles for years. I raced every kind of motorcycle there was, and I've got the scars to prove it. But we used to have a saying when we were racing motorcycles, we'd all get with our buddies and all the time, and we were always BSing each other. Okay, we were always, well, racing motorcycle in Texas, there's a lot of tall tales. Okay, but we had a saying that when the green flag drops, the BS stops. Okay, and so while you're waiting, you've got all sorts of BS going on. But once you finally decide this is the direction I'm going to go, this is my plan, guess what? The BS needs to stop and you need to get serious about what's going on here. Second Chance Hope Group will help supply you with the tools that you need. That's what we're here to do. I mean, I'm talking to you while you're in the situation, but we spend most of our time helping people that have finally gotten out, making their dreams come true. And you need to do something about it now. You can't wait till you get out. Wait until you get out is going to get you in trouble. You need to get out and you need to be pointed at something. Okay? You need to be headed for where you want to be. So tonight, start a list of things that you need to get the things you want. You're not going to show this list to anybody. You're not going to tell me. Unless you want to, but decide what you want. It's simple. Or decide what you don't want. I don't want this anymore. Well, how am I going to fix this? It leads right to it. And pretty soon, as you're sitting there thinking about the things you want, you're going to find the one that gives you that good feeling, that warm feeling, that warm, fluffy feeling. Man, I want to do this. I've always wanted to do this. I don't know why I didn't do it. So what I'm telling you to do is start now. Don't waste another precious day. Plan, don't wait. Okay? I know I'm saying it over and over and over and over, but this is important. So, are you going to sit there with your mouth open, waiting for a roast duck to fly in? If a roast duck is something you want, here's the way to go get it. Which one of these was more likely to get you a roasted duck? Okay, this is pretty simple stuff. So when you find yourself sitting there twiddling your thumbs instead of planning your future, keep thinking about that guy with a roast duck. This is an easy way out, and it's fun. Once you start making these plans, once you start rocking and rolling, there's nothing can stop you. One thing, everything will just kind of fall into place. Okay, everything will just seem to happen. If you call it forth, that's what happens. If you're going to be a mechanic, you need a well-stocked toolbox. Okay, you need the tools so you can work on a car, and it just makes it so much easier if you have the right tools. Because just when you're a mechanic, you're doing the same thing I'm talking about in prison. You're fighting time. You got to beat that flat rate hour. They're going to pay you so much for doing this job. If you can do it, and they say it's going to take an hour, and you can do it in 45 minutes, you're going to make a lot more money as a mechanic. Okay, so you need a full stock tool box so you can have the right tools. Well, let me show you the tools I had when I was in prison. You can get these at the commissary. Actually, I got more than this. My 5 years in there, I wrote a bunch of these little books, and every one of them is just full of things I wanted and things I thought of and things I was going to do. I didn't waste my time, and here they are. Here's the volumes, and here's the thoughts. Here's the things that I'm going to use when I get out. Now, my plan when I got out, here's what I was going to do. I was going to start doing this. I was going to set up a nonprofit and come back to the prisons and educate prisoners. And, you know, some of you guys recognize me when I come back in. You've seen me in prison with you. And you ask me, why in the hell would you bother to come back to prison? Well, I'm coming back to prison so you don't have to. So you don't have recidivative problems. If you get out and you don't have any skills and you don't have any knowledge and you haven't been planning, you're going to go back to the thing that got you in the first place. And that's why the recidivism rate's 50%. You know, you sit in there and bitch about how much you hate this place, but most of you come back. You got to change the people around you or change the people around you. So if you're going to go back and get with the same old boys doing the same old thing, you're going to get the same old result. You'll be back. But if you go back in and you tell any of your friends, listen, I'm not doing that anymore. You know, and if they go, okay, and they change, that's great. But if they don't change them. Move on. Go somewhere else. Get some more friends. There's other places. Don't meet friends where you met them. Go somewhere else. Get involved with your community. Make a difference in your life. I got a little ahead of myself, okay, in the last slide. Here it is. You got a chance. You got to change the people around you. You're going to change the people around you. I know that sounds kind of silly, but if this is the people that were around you when you came into prison, you need to change that. Either these guys got to understand you're not doing that same stuff anymore and they're still your friends. That's great. But most likely you're not in that clique anymore. This is the clique you need to be in. And there's great people over here too. You know, but this is a better place for you to be. So change the people around you. Change the people around you. It's that simple. If you want to come back here, don't do any of that. You'll be back right where you are right now. Okay. Here's what we offer. hope, a belief in a second chance. That's, as I sat in prison thinking about what I could do, I wanted everybody to understand you can get a second chance. This isn't the end where you are right now. This is the beginning. This is the end of the old ways and the beginning of the new ways. The tools we're going to give you is a philosophy to win and the mechanics for money. We're going to show you how to do these things. So you got the right attitude and then you got the right tools to succeed. It's important that you understand this is not going to get you anywhere. Study what poor people do and don't do that. Okay? And this is what poor people do. And I don't care how much craps you play on the streets, you're still not going to get rich. You're not going to have a family life. Things are not going to be good if you don't change. So study what poor people do and don't do that. Study what rich people do and do that. It's that simple. I want you to be just like my man Tony. Tony's a poster child for what goes on here. Second Chance Hope Group will give you the winning philosophy and the tools to become financially independent, just like Tony. Tony's idea was pretty simple. He wanted to start a bakery, and he decided it would be better to put a bakery inside of a mall because as people walked by, guess what they could smell? Pastry cooking. What a strong selling point that is. You know, Tony said he realized it one time when he went into a Krispy Kreme. Holy cow, he was going to get a donut and ended with a couple of dozen. So that's what Tony's idea was, to put this in the mall. Well, as he was in prison, we started laying out a business plan. He started looking at what it was going to take to get started. He found an investor that would help him do it. And so Tony got started with one location in a mall. Here's Tony in front of the Tony's Temptations freshly baked pastry. Tony was very successful in what he's doing. Tony devised a plan during his incarceration to draw pedestrians in by using the aroma of freshly baked pastry. That's a powerful tool. Visually, this looks good. Sensually, it smells good. Man, what a great idea. Tony didn't let his past define him, but he integrated its lessons into his evolving self. He left prison a different person than the one that walked in. And that's what you've got to do. Being the way you were got you here. You need to evolve. You need to progress. It's just so important. A different man walk out of prison than the one that walked in. Does that not make sense to you? I know this is hard because it's you that's got to change, but doesn't that make more sense? Okay, so here's all the contact information, this Second Chance Hope Group, and my website if you want to go there. If you want to send your relatives there, they can get the same information you're getting, or your friends, okay, or anybody you think that might need this information. You can email me. Happy to respond to your emails. You can go to my YouTube channel, JE, the Financial Equalizer. That's me. And if you'd like to call me or have somebody call me, my telephone number is 737-293-6940. So I call myself the Financial Equalizer because the equalizer always helped people that couldn't help themselves. Now, right now, you have a hard time helping yourself where you are. Well, I want you to know you got a friend. You got somebody that's going to try to help you. I spent all those years planning on how I could come back and help you. So each one of you, please use me to further your plans for your future. Let me give you the toolbox. Let me give you the knowledge of things that you need to become financially independent. Because the difference between rich people and poor people, there's only a couple of things. Luck, okay, and knowledge. Now, you're just going to have to work on luck yourself. I don't know, pray for it or whatever it takes. But knowledge is something I can give you. In fact, I can give you more knowledge than the rich people have. And once you have that knowledge, you're able to decipher the things you need to do to become financially independent. And that's always my goal, that and to get you financially independent and to keep you from coming back to prison. So I hope you enjoy this tutorials. There's a lot more tutorials on the site. If you have any questions, please contact me or have somebody contact me. I'd like to talk to you one-on-one. That's really my goal. I want to spend the rest of my life seeing if I can do something to help you.